Hey, what's up, everybody? So GQ came out with this new series in partnership with Goldman Sachs called My First Million. The video series highlights athletes and how they spent their first $1 million. So for today, we're going to review the first episode. The episode is with Dwayne Haskins, first-round draft pick for the Washington Redskins quarterback. And now, while we never like to count people's pockets, it's important to understand that we're going to use this for educational purposes and understand, how money works and how spending your money in different situations can apply to your own financial playbooks. So let's check in with the video and give our honest review.
Whose money is this? I just got here. This is not mine. What's up, GQ? It's Dwayne Haskins. This is how I spent my first $1 million. As a kid, I always thought I was going to play in the NFL, and everybody thought I was crazy. When you play college football, especially if you're pretty good at what you do, you want to play in the NFL. So, of course, throughout the season, everyone was like, man, what you finna buy? If I got this, I would get this, I would get that. And I'm like, man, I got to focus on getting there first. I got to play.
So he points out a great thing that athletes go through, especially when they're, highly rated at a young age. Friends, family, agents, your inner circle, they already have an idea of how you're going to spend your money. So you got to make sure that you got to get there first. That's first and foremost. You got to be able to get that contract, but don't spend your money before you have it. Obviously you grow up all your life wanting to become a NFL player or NBA player or professional athlete, to have the opportunity to spend these things, but do not spend the money before you have it. It's a problem that a lot of athletes deal with, and they get themselves in the hole right off the bat.
Play well, so hard working. I knew I was gonna be able to do it with hard work and perseverance, and I made it. I never really had a job growing up. I might have worked like some football camps. That counts as like a summer camp or something like that, but I never had to work and clock in 9 to 5, none of that.
So that's also a great point that Dwayne Haskins brings up. You spend your whole life, working to become a professional athlete. So when you could have the time to spend on an internship, you're spending it extra hours on the field or extra hours on the court. So it's now you see the modern athlete, focusing on being more than an athlete or an athlete or not only just the professional athlete, but the person as well. So use your leverage as an athlete to seek out opportunities so that when you are done playing, whenever that may happen, careers only last for so long. Your resume just doesn't look at like, oh, professional athlete, because these corporate spots want experience in that space. You have a lot of soft skills, but how can you apply these soft skills and combine it with hard skills?
If we look at your resume, first job ever is NFL quarterback.
It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, that'll be my first real job. When I got drafted, I was actually at home at a bowling alley in Maryland, and I went to high school in the area. The owner's son actually goes to my high school, so it's crazy. I used to go to Redskins games growing up just to be able to be drafted by the hometown team and, knowing I'd be able to take care of myself and not have to worry about making ends meet. Being in school, I didn't have any debt, so everything was already paid for. My apartment, only thing I had to pay for in college was my car bill. Might have had maybe a couple bills for the library, but I had to pay that off.
Overdue books.
Yeah, that's about it. The first thing I asked my agent, I'm drafted now, so when do I get paid? When I got my first signing bonus, I put about 70% of it away, 30% of it I put in a different account, and I bought some stuff as well, so we'll get into that too.
That's smart. So when he got his first signing bonus, he decided to follow the method of pay yourself first. He put 70% to it into the savings account, and then the 30% for discretional spending and other purposes that we're going to get into. But it's amazing to understand that at such a young age, he knows that mindset to make sure you pay yourself first, because the money will not last forever if you don't take the precautions necessary.
So before we talk about my first $1 million, it's very important that you save your money. Now that I made the money, I'm like, bro, there's taxes. So I'm thinking I'm getting all this money and half of it's going to taxes. You got agent fees, you got all this stuff you got to pay for. I'm a financial advisor. So talk about finances, savings, having different buckets, he calls it, as far as having spending money, having saving money, having money put away for the long term. You have 3 different bank accounts. Make sure you be smart with your money, because at the end of the day, you don't make that money every day the rest of your life. The first thing I bought after I saved my money So make sure you save your chicken. I got myself a car and my mama house. I got myself a Bentley Bentiaga. It's a very nice car. I got a custom matte black, red interior. It's my baby, called the Batmobile, my favorite car. And you can see that car right here. And the interior right here. That car, $250,000.
$250,000 on a car. And trust me, a Bentley is a nice car, luxurious car, probably one of the best cars ever made. But once you drive it off the lot, it depreciates in value. So a car is a depreciating asset. So it loses value over time. No matter how nice the car is, no matter who bought it before you, no matter what model it is, it loses value over time. So once he drives it off the lot, he can't go and resell it unless he's just a great salesman. But he can't go and resell it for more than it is, unless it's like a classic car, like a 1962 convertible, like those classic cars that car collectors collect. But a car only gets you from A to B. So understand that when you're making a purchase, you just got to get to where you're going, and that's all you really need in a car. Obviously, you want to be comfortable, so don't just get an old beat up car if it's not working. But understand the purchases you make go a long way, and try to get assets that grow over time.
I'm not buying no more cars. Not a very good investment to buy cars. They depreciate with value. If you're going to buy a car, make sure you're comfortable with what you're buying.
What was your mom's reaction like, and how did you give her the house?
I guess it was like the mortgage papers. She has to sign on it too, because of course she's living there. Being able to just, hey mom, I got a surprise for you. Here's a house. But she was just so excited and being able to, move to somewhere where she'd be comfortable. Give me a really big hug and definitely made those 14 plus years of hard work worth it. I always wanted to give my mom a house. That's like something a lot of athletes want to do for their mom. My mom sacrificed a lot for me growing up, and being able to take care of her is something that was really important for me.
How much was the house that you bought your mom?
There's not enough on the table. That would be the rest of all this money, so $750. My mom's house was $750.
So Dwayne Haskins spent $750,000 to buy his mom a house. And as you know, I feel like if you watch interviews of athletes during the drafts, like what's the first thing you're going to do? Like buy my mom a house, buy my mom a car, buy my parents this. So it's not bad to take care of your parents for all the sacrifices they made, but understand what comes with it when you buy your mom or your dad or your parents a house. Understand that. Are you going to buy the house up front so they don't have any payments? Are you putting the down payment and they're going to pay the mortgage? You need to communicate this with your family, because if not, there's going to be some problems down the road because there's misunderstandings. And not only do you have to understand that what comes with buying a house is, you have to pay for the insurance, you have to pay for the maintenance, you have to pay for the homeowner's condo fees if it's a condo and stuff like that. So understand what goes into buying a house, and don't just go blindfolded and just say, I want to buy my mom a house just to thank her for everything she's done, and not understand that there's more things that go into it.
$50,000, but that wasn't spent for me, so I'm not going to count that. I always wanted to go out the country. I have not gone yet. Declaring from the draft, right from college, just training, and then hopping right into the NFL season, there's no time to go anywhere. I'm going to the Bahamas soon. Trip coming up next month. I like to shop smart, so I got the flights in advance, so they weren't more than like $800, and then the hotel's like $3,000 for a couple of days.
So let's budget $10,000 for the vacation.
Yeah, maybe 5 or 7 around there. Finance guys watching, so I'm being smart, Steph. 10 bands, vacation money.
A vacation is not a bad investment. It's better to enjoy experiences over materialistic things. One thing I would just add is that just to make sure you plan accordingly, because if you don't plan and you say, I got it, don't worry about it, you're going to end up spending more than you have to. And there's always a deal in there for you. And especially as an athlete, don't be afraid to reach out and possibly try to get a brand deal out of your travels, because there's opportunities there. If you, post like which hotel you're staying at, or don't post it while you're there, you don't want stalkers or anything, but, if you agree to do different things like that, you may be able to get, perks that come along with your travel destination.
I bought some jewelry. I got some on right now. Shout out to Gabe. I always rock earrings. I didn't get my ears pierced till I was like a junior in high school. Me and my dad got ears pierced together actually, so it's pretty ironic. I got me 1 or 2 watches, something I got on right now. The Tech Philippe. I bought it bust down already. It's like a chandelier. This watch can be worth.
So he bought his watch, Patek, nice watch. I'm not even on the front. Those are nice watches. He bought it already bust down. So bust down in urban terms, it's like when it has the diamonds on it. So take heed this advice. Take this advice. If you're gonna buy like a watch, buy it as is. So don't buy a watch and then add diamonds and stuff like that because it loses value. But he said he already bought it used, so I'm not going to say it's going to lose value, but he's not going to be able to resell it. But he's already bought it as a bust down, Patek, so he doesn't have to worry about if he were to go and get an original one, add the jewelry on it, and then try to sell it or try to get rid of it. He wouldn't lose value on that because he already bought it used, which is a smart investment as well, and he already had it bust down.
Worth over 100,000. I did not pay that much for this watch though. I got to pull up my receipts. It said like 60K for the Patek.
What about the chain? How much was the chain?
Give me another 10. Chain.
Also, to keep in mind, when you buy jewelry, make sure you get insurance. You never know when you might lose it or someone tries to rob you. Different things like that. Insurance is always good. No one ever needs it until they need it. So make sure you get that insurance.
You gotta be drippy. So I got a couple nice clothes. My dad always says I get my fashion sense from him. He used to model and all that stuff like that. So I always kind of knew how to dress. I just didn't have the money to buy the expensive things. So of course, when I got to the league, I was training in LA. So Rodeo Drive is like one of those places you hear, like, met a whole bunch of fashion people out here. I got a personal shopper now and I don't go to the mall anymore. Having somebody I can just text and like, I want to get this shirt. I saw this shirt here and be able to buy it for me. Shout out to Joey Dubs. I gotta buy suits. Suits was something I had to buy for the season. Being a quarterback, bought like 4 or 5 suits. Tailor-made, 10. If I had to say clothes and everything like that, first year, I'm like 40,000. If I had to take myself out of the best style for the Washington Redskins, I'll give Landon Collins, he's up there.
So 10,000 for 4 to 5 suits. That's not that bad considering his status as a first-round NFL draft pick. But 40,000 in 1 year on clothes, that probably means he's spending all his money on designer, which is cool and all. But there's other ways. Especially if you have a personal shopper, your personal stylist, you can work with them to be comfortable in maybe not as expensive luxury clothing. Obviously, the saying goes, the old adage, clothes make the man. But in this case, there's ways you can go around that and, kind of take a minimalist approach without having to, spend so much money. Obviously now in this new day and age with athletics and fashion and how it kind of intersects, people want to, kind of express themselves, but there's different ways to do it without spending $40,000 a year. But if it's in your budget, it's in your budget. I just recommend not to spend so much on something that's not gonna, there's always going to be a new trend, a new style. So if you're going to try to keep up with the trends, you're not going to be able to sustain that over time.
Oh man, Jimmy Moore is up there. Steven Sims, Q Dunny's up there, and Crow. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie is like my top 5 for drip on the team. I got a funny story. So I'm training in LA. I'm working out with Deshaun Watson and a few other friends, Sean Kaiser and Manny Wilkins, with my quarterback coach, Quincy Avery. And we're playing a game, and we're like, whoever loses has to buy dinner tonight. So unfortunately, I lose, right? We go to some restaurant, and they run the tab up on me crazy. First of all, it was supposed to just be us 4. They invited friends, family, cousins. It was like almost 15, 20 people at the table. I'm like, there's no way I'm paying for all this food. It was like almost $10,000. I was pissed, so I didn't bet with them no more.
Don't bet with your friends when it comes to dinner. That's just one dinner and that he's talking about. I can attest to this. If you play games like credit card roulette or betting games like, all right, for soccer, for example, who hits the crossbar, loser has to buy dinner, loser has to buy lunch. These things add up over time, and trust me, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Understand that everyone has their own lane, and it's not a problem to stick with it. Don't. There's obviously times when you're gonna have team chemistry events and things like that to build camaraderie, but don't lose, you know, your your financial nest egg, or your bills, the money you're going to use to pay your bills, because you want to fit in, and you want to pay, and you want to gamble with your friends, or basically place bets with your friends and lose games over dinner.
Oh, okay. Another thing happened. Rookie dinner. That's like a real thing in the NFL. Offensive linemen, they take them out to eat, and of course they ordered all the appetizers, all the steaks they can get. They do not want to go to Applebee's. They want to go to the best steak place that they can find. That was an expensive bill too. It's something you want to do. Take care of your linemen. They block for you. Take care of you. Keep you off the dirt. And, I'll do it again if I have to.
See, so the difference between his earlier story, losing a bet and then having to pay for dinner, versus taking care of his offensive lineman, that can be considered an investment. Quarterbacks take care of the offensive lineman because the safer they keep them, the longer they play. The more time they have in the pocket, the better chance they have to make more positive throws, and leads to a better chance of winning. So there's been stories in the past, Russell Wilson taking care of his linemen, Aaron Rodgers, buying his linemen all TVs, Dwayne Haskins in this case taking his linemen out to dinner. So that's different. That's building camaraderie. You can tell the difference between losing a bet and running up the tab versus taking out your linemen to dinner, and try to keep it under balance and go far from there.
Shout out to Corey. I have a whole bunch of murals and motivational things. I got a weight room. I have 5, 6 different paintings. Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. I just got a Kobe mural. I got a whole poker table of my favorite rappers with Scarface. It's Jay-Z, Nipsey, J. Cole, Biggie, Tupac. It's a dope piece. He didn't charge me that much, so I'll probably say another 10 for Corey to paint my basement.
So I didn't understand if that was he actually has art pieces, or he painted his basement, spray painted it, because as we saw earlier, when he bought the $250,000 car, a Bentley, mistake in my opinion, that's a depreciating asset, while art, depending on the designer, the artist, if it's a mural or if it's actual painting, a canvas, it's an appreciating asset. Usually art tends to go up in value over time. So understanding the difference between depreciating and appreciating can go a long way in terms of how you spend your money in discretionary spending.
Being an NFL, of course, you have family members that you want to look after, and a couple of friends that you grew up with. Biggest thing I learned is how to say no, because people will ask for
Listen carefully. He's talking. He's preaching right now.
a lot if you let them. We took care of my sister. I helped her go to school, stuff like that. Something that I feel was important for somebody to move forward with their life. I helped them with. She got a scholarship to SCAD, Savannah College in Art Design. She is a actress, and she's majoring in communications. She wants to produce movies, make movies, be in movies. My dad always says she's more talented than me at what she does than what I do, but that's up for debate. I'm 50.
So for me personally, I love this because he could have spent money, helping his sister become a director and pay for movies, but he actually helped her achieve it on her own. He helped her with school. So she gets her education. She has a better background, a better knowledge to make sure when she wants to go act, or when she wants to go, develop a film, she has the knowledge to go about it, and gives her a better chance to be more successful. So he's actually investing in her to invest in herself, whereas he could spoil her and give her gifts and do that. But over the course of time, as she develops and get older, that doesn't help her, like her going to school or her, becoming an actress and running in that trade. So understand the difference between enabling your family and friends and actually helping them and investing in them and giving them the opportunity to fish on their own. You can give a man a fish, or you can teach a man to fish. And you always want to be able to teach a man to fish, because then they can teach others and go on and to support themselves.
Degree money, sir. Going to my sister.
you have an away game in New York, do you get taxed from the state of New York?
I try to tell you, taxes are no joke, bro. So you'll get taxed where you play. You'll get taxed when you play at your home stadium. So if you play in LA, you're getting LA taxes. If you play in New York, you're getting New York taxes for that game that you're playing. It's ridiculous, but yeah, it is what it is.
So Dwayne Haskins is talking about the jock tax, and I remember my rookie year, and taxes season came around, and I called my dad. I said, "Yo, Dad, I think the IRS messed up because I got taxed in Utah, and I don't live there. Maybe they like confused it with Philly or California." He's like, "Oh no, welcome to the real world, son. That's what they call the jock tax." So then I looked it up. It actually started because of Michael Jordan. When they first played the Los Angeles Lakers. Definitely going to have to do like a case study about that. California was looking to tax Michael Jordan and their team, and then now athletes get taxed for wherever they play. So wherever you play, home and away, you get taxed for a proportion of your income. So it's vital that athletes get accountant, a financial advisor, a team of financial professionals to help work with them when it comes to taxes, because taxes for athletes gets very, very confusing. My rookie year, I did my taxes all wrong. With the help of a financial advisor, I do no longer work with. So it's important to understand, how your taxes work and where you have to pay your money, because IRS, Uncle Sam, he's always watching.
Let's push all this money in for taxes. Ouch, that hurts. Yeah, this is all tactic. It's my first million. I feel pretty good. Something I always dreamed of as a kid, and car and watch and my mama house and stuff. But it goes pretty fast. You think you got everything in the world once you get drafted, and then you look at your check and it's a lot of money, but it can go if you don't spend it the right way. That's it, guys.
His taxes were more than half of the money he got back. Just for context.
Toss for my first million. Catch me at FedEx Field next year.